What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another Ticker Fee video and welcome to the Ticker Fee family. So the ticker symbol we're going to be talking about today is ALY, or Alternet Systems Inc. So what we're going to be talking about specifically is breaking down the company. So we're going to touch on the energy storage, the revolt electric motorbikes, the military applications, and then the recent news with the new EV expansion update, the revolt partnership, and then we'll finish this video off with the chart analysis. So for those that have been supporting me so far, again, as always, I cannot thank you enough. And if you're here for the first time, welcome to the channel. And with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so Alternet Systems Inc., their energy storage. So when I was reading some of these web links, what I noticed is a few of the items that they do and that they provide. So with their supercapacitors, so Alternet operation involved working with university research and development departments experimenting with various energy storage technologies. So that's where the energy storage came from. Now, with that being said, primarily they had graphene-based supercapacitors. So current graphene-based supercapacitors can now store almost as much energy as lithium-ion batteries charge and discharge in seconds and maintain all this over tens of thousands of charging cycles. So they say, nevertheless, we caught the lithium-ion fever and threw ourselves in the building an in vogue portfolio of lithium technology partnership with a Fortune 500 company. So I wanted to point that out. Now, with that being said, let's check out the EV motorbikes. So again, revolt electric motorbikes. Now that's kind of interesting because a lot of people haven't been talking about motorbikes on the EV standpoint. So I already like that. So I feel like that's really good. Now let's read a little bit of what they have to say. So the current global market for motorcycles, scooters, and mopeds is approximately 130 million units per resulting year and 120 billion in annual sales. So as per capita income in developing economic regions continues to improve, motorcycle, scooter, and moped sales are correspondingly expected to grow. So global automobile sales in 2018 is expected to reach just 80 million units. So now, with that being said, they've been going through a pilot phase. So they've had this industrial engineering firm currently designing the revolt electric motorcycle. Now, their electric vehicle is currently designing electric delivery trucks specifically for the sub-Saharan market. Additional EV are in the works. So I want for you to keep that in mind because this is going to be in the future. So when you're looking at Q3 and Q4, those are going to be some catalysts that's going to make those bodies, those candlestick bodies, go up. So working with the military is going to be a positive result. So they have a huge spending capacity. So I want to point that out because, again, this is a major opportunity. So the U.S. military industry sector is the largest exporter of military systems in the world, accounting for over 30% of the entire defense sector market. Now, the U.S. military spends over $100 million a year on batteries. Now, consider that there are 195 countries in the world, and only about 20 of them does not have a military. That's a pretty big battery market, and as military equipment becomes more electronic and more portable, the battery market is only going to grow. So great points. I wanted to let you know that as well, because again, every year, as soon as they continue to use more military equipment, but on the electronic side, you're going to see these quarters allow more opportunity, and when we get the 2021 financial results, again, that's going to be really good. So another catalyst that you're going to want to be aware of in the future is on April 8th, they announced an executing of a new agreement substantially expanding the company's overall EV ecosystem. So the new agreement represents an EV deployment sector expansion beyond ALY's current rideshare entry point. So it also brings a geographic expansion opportunity beyond ALYI's current East African concentration. So the multi-deal includes a new strategic investment with a structure management view as a confirmation of current value potential. So the details regarding the deal are intended to be disclosed in the events section of the pending ALYI FY 2020 annual report. So this should be coming up here soon. hopefully maybe in Q2 or Q3. That way we know what the results are and see what this new expansion is all about. So again, another catalyst that's going to be taking place on the charts that we want to be aware of and be prepared. That way we can make some decisions on if we're trying to add more shares to our overall portfolio. Okay, so it looks like Alternet Systems is looking into the cryptocurrency realm. So here's what they're trying to do. They just established another partnership with a new organization called Revolt Token. So Revolt Token is dedicated to funding Alternet Systems' electric vehicle ecosystem. So they'll be in part funding the electric vehicle ecosystem through the introduction of cryptocurrency. So again, another opportunity, another platform. I want you to be aware because this is great information. And again, this is only going to help this company grow and expand. Okay, so when I look at this chart, the first thing that comes to mind is this is going to be working from the ground up, right? So it's going to be a really, really small quote unquote penny stock. And so when I'm looking at this, you can see the trend line has stayed the same for a long time. So that's going to be at 0.0196. Now, when you expand it and you look at the candlestick, you can see clearly, depending on what the news has been, you've got 432 million volume of trades, right? So that's going to be, again, buys and sells. Now, with that being said, we can see that the volume has kind of changed throughout, but kind of slowed down at the same time towards the end of March, beginning of April, which is not a surprise because, again, there was a lot of correction in March. I feel like all of us wanted to get out of March, and now that that new foundation has started and we've got a new support line and a new resistance, when I look at this, it's not near as bad as what it was not too long ago. So when I see this, you've got a high of 0.88. Now, with that being said, there's been a lot of movement here recently between, I would say, between February and at the end of March. So, but it's leveled out, like I said, and so there's been a lot of green. So I like when I see the wick because that's when there was a lot more volume and it dropped, but it's still closed higher than what it opened up at. So that's going to be a positive standpoint that I want to know about and keep that in mind. So clearly there's been more green here recently than there's been red. So when you're looking at the candlestick or the body, there hasn't been as many times here lately towards the end of March, beginning of April, and it's already April the 10th, and we're still more in the green. So again, more closing higher than what it opened up at. So there's a lot more trading and a lot more movement going on, but at the same time, it's kind of leveling out. So again, that's going to come with a company that's this small. So again, when you're a small cap, it's just part of the whole process. And so we got to keep that in mind when we're looking at this chart. But with that being said, again, I feel like they've got a great foundation and a great opportunity for growth. Now, guys, I really do appreciate you listening to this video. I hope this was extra added value for you to make some opportunities on if you want to buy it, if you want to sell it, or whatever the case is. I'm not a financial advisor, but I just want to give you the latest and update information. So again, I really do appreciate it. And with that being said, welcome to the Ticker family.